Yep, there we go. Oh, nice. Little guy. A little pretty brown right here. Man. That's what it's all about. These little natural browns. Ooh, that's a pretty guy. Feels so great to be back out here fishing. Little brown trout. Pretty guy. Look at the colors on that thing, man. I love these little browns. Get back to your place, buddy. Maybe he's got a buddy next to him. Good morning, welcome back to the Hicks Hooks channel. This winter I'm going to be doing a couple episodes on fly fishing for trout because when it gets cold outside, I know I like to get out and go find those spring creeks and get onto some rainbows and some browns. So today's episode I'm going to talk about the flies I like and the knots that I like to use when I'm fly fishing, because I think it's important you guys learn how to tie your own knots for a couple reasons, especially if you're just getting into fly fishing. I know it's easy to go get those tapered leaders, but learning how to tie your own knots is going to save you time and money. It's going to give you more opportunities to go fishing. And also, it's going to give you more control over what you're throwing out there, how your fly is presented, and also your hookup rate. Because you're going to be dialing into those fish, the better off you get in tying those leaders and getting them where you want, getting your fly where you want it. All right, so the first thing I'm going to go over is just how to tie your line together from a basic, from a 0x leader to a tippet. Okay, now sometimes if you're starting off, you're going to get that one with the loop, the tapered leader. That's fine. Personally, I just buy spools of tippet. Okay, and I know there are all these different numbers. It can get confusing, but this is going to save you a lot of money. Personally, I think the ones you want to go with are a 0x, a 3x, and a 5x. If I had to choose three of them, 0x, 3x, and 5x for trout fishing. And the reason is 0x on its own is great. I mean, it's strong. It's going to be a nice butt end for your leader. All right. And this is what you're going to want to connect your fly line to start your leader. So you're going to go with a 0x here. All right. And then you're going to go with a 3x. And honestly, sometimes you can just get away with going 0x to 3x. I like about 18 inches. 15 to 18 inches for my 0x. I've got my loop on there that I tied up. That's for another video here, but that's just the loop I connect. It's figure 8 knot. Alright, trim that tag end off a little bit more. And I colored this one in black. Hopefully it'll show up on the video a little bit better. Alright, so I've got 0x there, and we're going to tie it to this 3x right here. This 3x right here, and I colored that one blue. Alright, and the reason you want to learn how to do this knot is because leaders are expensive, and tying your leader or your tippet to your leader and building up a leader this way is beautiful. Alright, so a lot of people say the surgeon's knot, the blood knot. For me, I like to go with a uni to uni. I feel like if you tie it right, it's going to be strong enough, and it's also going to be, more streamlined in the water. Sometimes I feel like the surgeon's knot will kind of kink on you, and the blood knot, sometimes it's a little more time consuming unless you're really good at that one. That's a little bit stronger than a uni to uni, but for efficiency, I feel like if you can do a uni to uni, you're in it to win it. All right, here we go. So all you're going to do is take these lines. All right, I've got my 0x, which is black, and my 3x, which is blue. I'm going to cross them over. Okay, so cross them over. You want to have a little bit of an overhang. Okay, and then you're going to bring this and you're going to loop it over top. So I'm going to start one line at a time, and I'm working with my 0x first, my heaviest line. Alright, so I've got my loop, and I'm going to wrap it around this way. And this is fingers, your middle finger and your pointer finger holding it and passing it through the loop to your thumb and your forefinger. Alright, and you want to go at least 4 to 5 times through that one. At least 4 to 5 times. Alright, you're going to wet it and then you're going to cinch it. I'm not going to wet this because I don't want marker all over my face. Alright, and I'm not cinching down totally, I'm just pulling it down enough so I can still slide it if I need to. Now I've got my blue line, my 3X over here. Alright, same thing. I'm going to make my loop. Alright, I'm going the opposite way now. Alright, and now I'm bringing this line over. Same thing. Over both lines into that loop right here. Alright. There's the forefinger and the thumb pinching every time I half wrap around, pinch with my forefinger and my thumb. Alright, and same thing, you can do that 4 to 5 times. Alright, just like 4 right there. Probably 3 actually. Wasn't counting, I was talking. And then if you just pull it tight, you'll see these things tighten up on each other. And that right there is a great knot. You trim off those tag ends, and this line is going to run smooth and streamlined because it's going to run straight like this, whereas the surgeon's knot sometimes will kink on you. Okay? So, that knot right there probably saved me hundreds if not thousands of dollars in my time fly fishing. Alright, trim those little tag ends off. Just because 2 tapered leaders cost about $9 to $10. And then 3 tippets of spool cost about $9 to $10. You can get like a zillion leaders out of it. Alright, so that's your leader connection. Alright, I'm just going to show you this. I'm going to have a real short leader for this video just because I want to talk about the knots. The fly knots are most important. Alright, so here we go. I've got my line. Alright, now like I said earlier, right now I've got a 0x to a 3x. This is shorter than I usually make it just for the video. But usually I'd go 6 feet total, so 18 inches plus whatever to make 6 to 8 feet. If I'm throwing streamers, I don't like anything more than 7 feet really. I just feel like it gets in the way. So the knots, alright? When I'm out there fishing in the wintertime, I'm usually throwing some streamers. Alright, sometimes I like my woolly buggers with the rubber legs. And then most often, just like I'll go with this one, a bead-headed nymph. Alright, so bead-headed nymph. We'll go with this, my second favorite, the Kreh. And probably my first favorite fly to throw for winter fishing is the Slump Buster. Alright, so there's the Slump Buster. So these 3 streamers, I just love bringing them down there. If I'm fly fishing, this is what I'm using. This one already has a knot in there. That's a perfection knot. I'll talk about that. Perfect. So, here we go. The difference between knots. The one knot I think is most important, and you'll see a lot of people talk about it, is the Clinch Knot, or the improved Clinch Knot, or the Uni Knot, however you want to call it. Alright, and it's very similar just the way I tie those 2 lines together. Okay, and for a fly like this, which is just marabou and flash, when that hits the water, you know, that's going to be going like this. And most of the flick is in the back here where this tail is. Alright, so I like just tying a uni knot on these. And all the uni knot is the same thing. You can look it up. Alright, but a uni knot's super easy. Not going to spend too much time on it. You go through the eye here. You go through your hole here. Sorry. Alright, bend it back. You're going to twist around 7 times. Same thing. You're using those forefingers and middle fingers to pinch that line as you go around. You're going to come under this hole. First hole that's by the hook. Alright, I'm going to pinch it, and I'm just going back and around and through that. So that's your uni knot. Trim off the tag end. Like I said, the reason I like this is because when you're pulling that through, and I'll show you in a second on this video, right here, actually, if you watch right now, you'll see how that thing just is going to go up and down. Alright, so right here, alright, like I said, the uni, this is going to pull it, and it's going to pull it more streamlined. So there's not much wiggle this way. Not side to side wiggle, but it's going to be more flipping it up and down like this. And actually the eyes are going to be down. So it's going to be flipping it up and down. Up and down. Up and down. Not so much wiggling like this. Alright? When I get on to something like my Slump Buster, which I think is the best one for this knot, and also if you have a hook eye or the hook's a little bit wider, like the gauge of it's wider. Sometimes your light leader is not going to hold on there, so the Perfection's knot's the best. All right, and I like the Perfection knot because that's going to give it the wiggle, and in certain situations, it's going to make that fly just look really juicy and yummy for those fish. So, Perfection knot, all I'm doing here, or Perfection loop, all I'm doing here is I'm going to take the line before I put it in the hole of the hook. I'm going to wrap it around. I'm going to give myself one just little simple loop right here. Boop. Super easy. First knot you ever learn in life. Then we're going to take it through that hole. All right. I'm going to pass it back through that loop. All right. When I have it here, I'm going to see this. Okay. I can cinch it down a little bit. But I basically have my tag end pointing back towards the running line. And I have this big loop right here. All right. This circle right here. This is the important one. Okay. So all I'm going to do is the same thing. I'm just twisting around. All right, fishing line needs to be twisted several times to give it a nice little cinch on there. All right, and then I'm going to take it back and I'm passing it right back through both these holes. Right through here. Boom. Oops, I missed it. Right through here. All right. And then pull that nice and tight. Obviously you want to wet it. All right, but right here now you have a loop. So it's kind of like a loop to loop, and that's not going to pull it as much this way. It'll still flex, but that's going to wiggle all over the place. And the reason I like that is because, especially with these slump busters, this tail, it breathes. This hair, this rabbit hair or squirrel hair, whatever this stuff is, zonker hair, it's going to breathe in that water. It's going to pulse. All right, when you get that pulse going and then you get in a little rapid and it's running like that, that's going to give a lot more action, and it's going to, like, those fish are going to love it. It's going to be a breathing little fish in there, wiggling from side to side. Same thing with these woolly buggers. If I'm looking for straight action, I'll tie a uni to uni, or I'll just tie a uni knot to it. And if I'm looking for a little bit more action, I'm going to tie that little Perfection knot on like I already have on there. All right, so that's that first episode of Gearing Up for Trout. Hopefully you guys like it. A little bit of rhyme or reason to what you need in your tackle box, what you need in your bag, and why you're tying certain knots on a certain fly. So hope you guys have enjoyed. Thanks for tuning in. If you like what you see, please subscribe. And I'll be shooting out some more fly fishing videos the next couple weeks during this winter time. Happy holidays, and I'll see you guys soon.